almighty. Uh, Howdy, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Witches Winging It, where I can't hear a dang thing that Jen is saying. I may have to go back out and come back in for a second, but just in case you all just tuned in, dee, 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 across the breaking news, across the news desk of Witches Winging It. We're gonna have to hold off on that mugwort issues, only because Jen has some important news that she wants to talk about. She wants to talk about not about mugwort, about UFO sightings. This is hilarious. I can't hear myself. I can't hear Jen. So take it away, Jen. By the way, welcome everybody. I'm Buffy. This is my co-hostess with the mostest, Jen Dotson. I'll be right back. Jen, you start talking and I'll be right back. Okay, how about that?
I got you. All right. So we were going to talk about mugwort tonight, but I've decided with some things that have come up, we're going to switch topics and we're going to go with aliens and some sightings. And I have some questions to throw out there for everyone to get your brains going, see what your thoughts are on things. And then our next show, we will touch on mugwort. So if anybody was looking forward to that, we'll touch on that next time, and hope to have a lot more information. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Great God Almighty. Our producer, Tim, needs to stay off the air because every time he pops in and pops out, I can't hear nobody's.
Oh, Lord.
Lordy.
Okay. I'm getting kicked out.
Okay. So what were you saying, Jen?
So I just explained to everybody we were just switching topics for tonight. And the next show, we will go back to mugwort. So if anybody was interested in that, we'll definitely circle back around and hit that and get all that information out there for everyone. But we're just going to kind of hit the subject of aliens tonight, which I find absolutely hilarious that, I had seen something in the sky and it was green and kind of floated across before it, shot up and disappeared. But apparently
was
Tim
that
also,
today?
That was last night.
Oh.
So I find it funny that Tim had his own sighting, but his was violet. So that's pretty crazy. But
they're not racist. They're not partial.
No, we like all colors. But I did get into just kind of looking through things. I had some questions, and I know most people in here do not know my son. Some of you do, and you still don't know the ins of my son and how he works. But he is a questioner, and he will question you to death about a subject that you could be talking about.
Good old Jace.
Good old Jace. And I mean, like we've always taught our kids, don't just take what somebody says to heart, question it. Always make, until you feel you're comfortable and you have the explanation you're looking for, or you're trying to figure out how to do something, question until you fully understand it. But Jace takes questioning to a whole new level. So we did get on the subject of things, and I had come across this question that somebody had asked, and it kind of made my brain go, because I don't think all the times that we've spoke about aliens and things of that nature, I don't think this question ever kind of came up, or the thought. But the question that I seen from someone was, take us back millions of years ago. The dinosaurs are here. We all know that a meteor crashed, and that's what killed off the dinosaurs.
Yep.
How do we know that the meteor was not, in fact, a spaceship, and we are the aliens, and that's how we became here?
Was this Jace's question?
This was not Jace's question. Jace came into it because I asked him and I asked Bruce, and I kind of was like leaning on them, like, what do you think? And then that started the whole conversation. And Jace kind of went into it and he said, it's a good possibility. He goes, and it does make sense on a certain level. And he said, and this is not so much a question as it was that he brought this up, but he said, it makes sense if you think about along the lines of Egypt and their pyramids. And he goes, or even like old, whoever, Mayans or whatever, in like caves, we all see, stuff that's been drawn. He said it always shows alien beings or spaceships and stuff. And he goes, we've always thought that was us drawing it to let people know this is what we saw. He said, how do you know it wasn't us drawing what we know? Because that was us before we got here, to let other people know.
My brain has just glitched. I think
I know. I was like, I'm going to take you one of these days. I'm going to get him on this show with all his questions and the way his mind goes. But yeah.
Literally, we got to get Jace on here because that is an excellent way of looking at things, is that how do we know that that was a meteor? How do we know that it wasn't us? Because, and here's the thing that kind of melds into that. You remember my two ET friends, Keita and Abe, right? Abe and Keita both made explanations that they have been here for millennia. Millennia. So, with that being said, Abe also said, the mean one, I call him the mean one, developed, he doesn't have emotion. He doesn't have empathy. It's more or less, let me just give you the facts. Just the facts, ma'am. He's like the dragnet person. Just the facts, ma'am. And he made mention that the reason they are here, or that we have so many sightings, is because they are protecting us from imploding. Because without us, they cease to exist. It's like a ripple effect. You know how Confucius says you put a stone in the water and it makes many ripples? It makes many ripples. That what we do affects other planets. And that we are all connected. That we are, and this was direct from Abe, was that we are their ancestors. That eventually, through genetics, we will eventually look like them. That without us surviving, they cease to exist. Because we're like the Neanderthal version of the alien, of the ET. We're how they started. And then through genetics, with more of them coming here, and quote unquote, and here's the bad part of the whole situation. They mentioned the word mating, as they've made it with some of us. They made it with some of us in the Sumerian times, before the Great Pyramids of Egypt. And that was because their planets, their population were dying. And in order to secure their lineage, so to speak, or their population, they made it with some humans. Then he went on to say Rh negative blood. There are people walking around that have Rh negative blood. Rh negative blood is extremely rare, and scientists love to study Rh negative blood. They are stating that back during the times of the bubonic plague, all the plagues, let's take the Black Death, because we all know what the death doctors look like with the big long noses, the mask, the whole thing. How they survived during the bubonic and the Black Plague. There were people that lived in homes that were infested with the Black Death, but they survived. They survived because they have Rh negative blood. They've done experiments during the times when AIDS was running rampant in the 80s. We didn't know much about AIDS. We didn't know much about HIV at the time. All we knew was, or we were told, was that somebody ate some kind of green monkey, and then they came here, the green monkey infected them with the disease, and then now they're spreading it through everything. And that's how people are getting, getting HIV and then getting AIDS and dying. Terrible epidemic we had in the 80s. I was, a teenager in the later part of the 80s, but I grew up with that, being fearful, of people with AIDS and people dying or whatnot. So they took people that had Rh negative blood. It's in the scientific studies. It's in the journals of medicine. They took people with Rh negative blood and they transfused them with HIV and AIDS positive blood. They never contracted the disease, ever. They gave them smallpox. They never came down with smallpox. They gave them polio. They never came down with polio. They survived everything. And they're saying it's because that Rh negative blood, there's an enzyme in that blood that kills off things. Their alien species, a great majority of them have Rh negative blood. So that kind of ties in with you and Jace saying, what if that meteor wasn't an actual meteor? It was a spacecraft that crashed. There were survivors. Those survivors were us as Neanderthal kind of alien kind of things. And you're right. We get out. We make in the caves. We make the designs, the handprints, the buffaloes, the whole deal with the animals and the shooting, and the arrows and everything. And if you notice, in some of the cave drawings, what we interpret as the sun is not round. It's an oval, and it has beams coming out of it. What if that's a spaceship? What if that's a UFO?
I believe wholeheartedly, like, it definitely can be, and it makes a lot of sense. That's crazy that you brought that up with the Rh negative blood, because I just was watching something on that the other day, and that's crazy because it does make a lot of sense.
It does. Tim just posted on here. He said, my people, my ancestors believe we came from the stars. That is true. There are a lot of Native American nations, a lot of tribes that believe that they came from the stars. How about that? That's another piece of the puzzle in there. And he said, we came from the stars. That's why we are called the star people. Your blood, meaning you, Jen, your blood you have native blood. That's why you have sightings often. Maybe that's why you're having the sightings. Tim says, my blood is O negative. Don't give me anything else but my own. I'm okay with my own type. Thank you. Thank you. He's talking about his blood being O negative. you know, his blood is the most used, one of the most used bloods when they can't cross. I think it's the most used when they can't cross type match blood right away. It's like for emergency uses only.
Yeah, O versus O. So he can do anything back and forth, but not
Right.
me.
That I'm A positive, honey. A positive.
I have to
All
check
A
I think I'm A negative.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I know I'm A positive blood is our high school, way back in the late '80s, did a blood drive, and it gave us the opportunity as juniors and seniors to be able to give blood to the blood bank. And my grandmother was going to have a surgery that she might need blood for. So I donated my blood to her to be on hold just in case. And of course, they do the type match thing while you're there. And it came up that I was A positive. So that's the only
The only
reason I
reason I knew mine was when I was pregnant with Sam, the doctors
know.
did like all my stuff, and then they gave me this card to like keep track of like all my information for when I went in, and it was on there. That's the only reason I know, because if not, I'd be sitting there going, I don't know, I got blood.
I got blood. That's it. Sherry just jumped into the chat tonight. She says she's O positive here, and she just logged on. Just letting her know, Sherry, we were supposed to be talking about mugwort tonight. However, we had several sightings of the ET variety last night. One by Jen and one by our producer Tim Hopper. So we decided that we were just gonna hold off on the mugwort and talk about this. Jen just blew everybody's mind. Her and Jace, her son, were having this conversation, and we love the fact that Jace is a Y child. I love Y children. They want to know the facts. They are like the dragnet people. Just the facts, ma'am.
Don't get me wrong. You get into a conversation, or like you, not so much conversation, but you could tell them how to do something, and the question is, well, why? What if we do it this way? What do we do it? And then after like 10 minutes of that, it's like, just do it the way I said to do
it. I can see your hubby Bruce getting very annoyed with the why on everything. And him just walking away before he does something drastic. He just walk away.
No, they usually it'll get down, and the arguing will start, and then the loud yelling will start, and then doors start slamming, and then that's when I start screaming, because I'm like, you're knocking my stuff off the wall. And then they have to go to their separate corners and calm down, and then they come back together and they apologize and everything's great. But
oh, so you're like the referee.
Yeah,
Ding ding, round one.
I mean, it's great. And like I said, I taught my kids to ask that why. Don't be afraid to question stuff. But
right,
he takes it to a whole new level.
You know what? Him and my daughter Gabby need to get together and have a conversation, because Gabby,
we'll just sit back with popcorn.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love the fact that she's a Y child, and she is my witchy poo. So she'll sit with me when I'm casting, or when I'm mixing like herbs, or when I'm, doing something, or I'm in the middle of spell casting or whatever. And she will interrupt me 5,000 times. Like, you start the incantation. Well, Mom, why did you put the charcoal briquette in the cauldron? Mom, when are you going to light it? Mom, why are we using basil? Mom, what's the whole purpose of lavender? Mom, why are we adding, graveyard dirt to this? Oh, you said graveyard dirt. So why, who was the first person that went into the graveyard and just took a spoonful of dirt and said, yeah, I'm going to use this? She just drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm. And Jace would be the same way. I would just have to, you know what? You're messing my stuff up. I'm going to need you to get out.
Yeah. I've done that several times to Gabby, and it's not that I'm not, I do answer her questions after, but my thing to her is, I look at her and I go, Gabby, darling, beautiful one. I love the fact that you would like to learn how to do this. However, I have restarted this incantation at least 12 times while you're standing here. Okay. And daylight's burning, honey. I need to get this done before the sun goes down. And I would really appreciate it if maybe you would go somewhere else. Like immediately, expediently, just shoo off somewhere. And I will give you all of the information once it's done and why I did what I did. And she just looks at me and goes, I'm being annoying again, aren't I? And I'm like, you think?
Her and Jace were the reason why when we go in school and we would sit down, or would they be at like an auditorium for an assembly or something, please save all your questions till the end.
Till the end. To the end, please. I'm not finished. This is not the end. This is not the end.
Because I know they meant my son when they said that.
I think that's the major reason why they said that. Just for Jason and Gabby. I mean, for the two of them, just to be, yeah. Mm-hmm. Not that we don't love our children. We do. We love them to death. However,
just interesting. I will tell you that there's never a dull moment in this house with that boy. I go to work and people are like, all right, so I know there's a story. What happened last night? And I have to go over what happened and do play by play. What happened?
Oh, geez, Louise. So, tell us about your sighting last night that you had.
So I was actually not even outside. I just looked out the window and just happened to look up, and there it was. It was green, and it was just kind of this way, and then gone. And that's the second time that that's the second time I've seen it. The first time Bruce and I both saw it. He actually saw it first when we were sitting outside on the steps, and we caught that on our Ring camera. But yeah, the second time right outside.
Listen, if you get Dobby prancing in your driveway on your Ring camera, I'm gonna be pissed because
nothing important about that happened. I'd be up there at my window going, please come.
I have socks. Throw a sock out your window.
Yeah, here you go. Come on. I got plenty in here.
You're a free elf, Dobby. I've given you a sock.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I keep waiting. Do you need permission? That's what I'm asking. Do you need permission? I'm giving you full permission. I mean, I've got my bags packed. They're ready. Just let me know. And that's my thing is that when you have sightings done, does the atmosphere change? That was a question from Tim.
No, I don't. To me, when I see them, I don't feel like the atmosphere changes. I just feel like it's just that sense of something is telling me that I need to look here. Something is going on, and it's something pulling me to look to where it's at that moment. So I don't feel like atmosphere changes, but there's definitely, I would say, a pull. Like there's just something in my mind that just kind of like niggles me, like to say, hey, look here. But I also kind of feel it in my chest, like there's a pull, which is weird.
Oh, wow. I mean, I don't, oh, wow. Here's the thing. Maybe I'm experiencing the same thing, but I'm not getting a sighting of a ship. Now, I can see them, the two that I've had conversation with. I know when they're coming into the atmosphere because things will feel off. Like I'll get a weird pressure in my ears. Like, when you have to pop both of your ears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you have to pop them really, really bad, that's when they show up. The first time Kita showed up to me, it was in a dream state. I was not asleep, but I felt like I was asleep. You know, that moment that you become really relaxed and you're getting ready to shut your eyes and then nod off kind of thing. It was one of those. And I was wide awake after that. And I remember getting up because when he was done, I was sitting on the edge of my bed. Literally, I went, okay, I'm sitting on the edge of my bed. So I know that that wasn't a dream. I was being influenced and he was showing me things. He was showing me his, I want to say maybe his solar system from where he's from. And he had opened up my window and had pointed to the outside. And what I normally see was not there. It was like a solar system. There were different planets and moons, and they were rotating around what I'm assuming was his planet. And he really didn't say much, but I think it was in reference to his planet being in danger. Like something felt off, something felt wrong. And I felt like it was maybe a plea from him to help. And I was like, I don't know how do you want me to help? I don't know how to help you. I don't know what to do for you. And then
now, have they ever been any more clear since then on like what they want, like how to help them?
They have been. And I will say that Abe came to me. Now, he refers to himself as Abe because his name is too hard to pronounce. It's this very long name and it's very hard to pronounce. He appeared while I was in Ringtown. I always go to the salt room before I start reading. Sherry will turn the salt room on. She'll say, how about we do a salt room before you start? Get your energy set and, get you some calm, clarity, cleanse your spirit for a little bit. And I said, no problem. So I always go in the salt room. And I'm laying in one of those anti-gravity chairs, the ones that you can like lean all the way back and almost tilt yourself. So I'm laying in there and I'm very comfortable. And all of a sudden, the pressure came again. And I said, I don't like this. And the pressure was very bad to the point where I had a headache and felt like my head was going to explode. And then I heard a noise, like a humming, like a very loud, deep, low tone humming. And then he showed up in the salt room with me. Now I'm sitting there and I'm like this. And I immediately sat up and was like this, like I have nowhere to go.
I'm stuck.
Like there's nowhere for me to go because he was like 8 foot tall. And he is this dark military green color. Very long arms, almost like Slender Man arms. Very long legs. Short torso. He has his face from his cheekbones down goes almost into like a heart shape kind of thing. And then he's got this bulbous head that is elongated like backwards kind of thing. Like you see from the ancient, I guess it's the not the Aztecs, the Mayans, how they used to press their children's head in a board and the head would go elongate this way. And again, no talking through the mouth. This was all from his brain to mine. And he was talking to me about being a speaker, being an advocate, He was speaking in a language that was not Latin. It was not Arabic. It was not Aramaic. I understand those some of the words from those languages. It was Sumerian. And he then switched into English, and I don't know whether he wanted me to speak for them because he knew that human beings would be afraid of him the way he looked, and said, you're going to speak for us. And that's when he gave me the date to do that channeling, which was July 19th, this past July. He said, we will be here and we will answer all questions. Get your people together, and if they have questions, we will answer them all. He talked about the federation, quote unquote federation, that there is a federation of 13 planets. Mind you, all of them are inhabited. All 13 planets are inhabited. They are inhabited by different ET. They don't like to be called aliens. They're ETs, extraterrestrial. And there is this almost like UN of 13 planets. And they gather frequently, like quarterly, I guess you want to say quarterly, to talk about us as a planet Earth and what they've done to help save us from imploding our damn selves. They had mentioned that they have stopped us from hitting the nuclear button at least 4 times. The last time was actually at an underground bunker in, I think they said in Wyoming. In Wyoming. An underground bunker that they were actually, the missiles were moving and they stopped them from doing it.
Wow.
And they scared the shit out of the poor guy who was doing it. And he walked away. And that our survival is of the utmost importance. However, Abe gave a warning that their last 2 conference meetings, they were concerned about us and the fact that they can't continue to save us at their expense. That they are very close to dropping us like a freaking hot potato. And they will figure out survival.
You still there? Uh-oh. You are frozen. I can't hear anything.
They all hear. Bit. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
There we go. Hear me now. I feel like the Verizon man. This is all that they would figure out survival somehow without us. That's how bad it's getting. That I am fearful that if they give up on us, we're done. We're pretty much done. Yeah. They questioned God. They don't understand how we can have faith in something that we cannot see. So that was one of their big questions. They did say that by 2027, by next year, that first contact will have been made. That they have a plan for that to happen. Part of that plan involves having the Acurians come first. The Acurians look exactly like us. They're taller. They have more human features. There are one level up is what it would be. So if we evolved one up, this is what we would look like. A great majority of them have no hair. They're bald. They are a bluish tint human due to like the use of silver. Something silver oxidized, silver something, silver iodide. I don't know. Silver something. I can't remember too much. They would come first. They are the healers of the planets and the galaxies. They will teach us how to heal ourselves through our own vibrations. So, Reiki, basically, whole bunch of Reiki. They have been able to cure cancer. They have been able to cure lots of diseases by using vibrational healing, energy healing. The next to show will be the Andromedians. The Andromedians look a lot like us, but they're taller. They're very thin. They have very long, like platinum blonde, silverish hair. They have elvish looking appearances, like their ears are elongated. They're not to a point, but they're elongated. And this is not in any way, shape, or form to be funny. They shimmer almost like a gossamer color on their skin. They are very pale. I don't think Kita has eyebrows. If they are, they're very pale. He's very pale. They have small mouths, very small noses, very long fingers, and delicate hands, but they have all 5 fingers. Their hands are very delicate. And their eyes are a little more almond shaped. They're not huge. They see, like we see the drawlings, they're larger than ours. They tell us that their eyes black, like people think. They are much like a reptile, where they have that second or third eyelid. And it's basically built-in sunglasses because they live in the dark. A lot of it is dark. When they come here, the sun bothers their eyes. So it's an eyelid that closes down. But when they open it, their eyes look like ours, just almond shaped, very large pupils, and come in different colors. Their eyes come in different colors like ours. As far as like male, female, I don't think they have genitalia as far as I could see.
Buffy, were you peeking?
But they both felt, huh?
Well, you know,
when you got an 8-foot green person standing in front of you, who you know, your face is right there. It's like there was nothing. See, you get me in trouble a lot. The FAA is going to have a lot, or the FCC is going to have a lot of problems with me on this podcast.
Nah, just tell them it's the new book I'm reading.
But it's a new book I'm reading, romance novels. But they felt male. To me, it felt male. They talked with very male, masculine voices. And they said some of them don't even use spacecraft. They have the ability to teleport themselves through hologram a lot of the time.
Okay.
The Ecurians are the healers. The Andromidians are the peacemakers. The Palladians, now we're going to get into more features that look more alien. The Palladians look a little more alien, and they actually wear like suits, like armorish kind of things.
Okay.
They are part of what we would consider like a militia kind of thing. Military.
Like warriors?
Like warriors. There are some species that will come much, much later that look like bugs, like giant bugs. And then there are the draconians, which are the ones to worry about. They are the reptilians. They've learned to cloak themselves as human beings, to look like human beings while they are here.
Now, how do you know that they're not
They are the
already
ones that have
here?
been they are here. They
Okay.
are here. The
Because that would be my thing. Like,
draconians are
when you
here.
think about like all the stories you have and stuff like that of people, saying they've seen someone who had like reptilian eyes or, stuff that they couldn't explain, that always
Yes.
had me thinking.
Draconians. They are draconians. They don't completely. Here's the deal. They're not. Some people have drawn pictures of them, have seen them, have drawn pictures of them looking like dinosaurs. They're not. They don't look like dinosaurs. They look like reptiles. They're not chunky with the big tails. They don't have tails. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the dinosaurs would have tails out there, hanging out. They have no tails, but they are very reptilian and come in different shades of greens and browns and golds and copper colors. Those are the ones who would love nothing more than to watch us fail so that we can be dominated. For galactic conquests, to put it into terms that we would understand, galactic conquest. There are ones that look like the Close Encounters of the Third Kind. They're little. They're no more than 3 feet. There's the pale ones, the gray ones, green ones. Grays, there are. Hold on for a second. Hey, give me that. She's playing with my paper towels and eating my paper towels. There are some grays that cannot be trusted. They're easily swayed, and they are like the grunts of the reptilians. The pale ones and the green ones, we really don't have much to worry about. They're here. The Ponti are here. The Ponti have been here for thousands of years. They live in the Sandia Mountains in New Mexico. They are there to protect us. They have been here for thousands of years. They don't understand how we can ruin a planet that most planets in other galaxies call the blue planet. They call us the water planet because their planets suffer from drought, no water, or lack of a lot of water. They don't have plants like we have. They don't have waterfalls like we have. And they find it absolutely stunning that there are some aliens or some ET that come here just to study the microbiology. They study the plants, they study the animals because they don't have them on their planets. And it is so beautiful to them. And they are angry with us for treating our planet basically like shit. Like, why do we pollute our waterways? Why do we throw garbage on the ground? Why do we pollute water? Water is survival.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the ETs, water is survival. It makes things grow. I mean, they have animals on their planet, but they're not as colorful and as pretty as ours. They're more strange and weird looking kind of thing. And the Ponti are here to help as well. They were the first ones that showed up, other than the Zadians. The Zadians were the ones that came and made it with the Sumerians. They're the ones that taught the Egyptians how to build pyramids. The Zadians and the Andromedians were the ones who instructed the Egyptians what to put into the pyramids and how to use them as homing devices or battery stations, because thousands of years ago, the Great Pyramids of Giza, or all the pyramids that they built, had a copper or brass, gold looking, top to it on the very tippy top. And they used that to navigate back to us, almost to map where we were so that they could find us. Some of them, there are pyramids in ancient Egypt. One of the Great Pyramids of Giza that actually has copper coil running down the inside of it and columns underneath of it. So if we were to dig and go underneath, there's these columns of quartz and marble, and they have these copper or gold coil that go around them. They're used as batteries. They mix with what used to be salt water. That ancient Egypt was lush. It was green. It was water. They even have markings on the Great Sphinx where there were watermarks that make people think that maybe that's where Atlantis was. They're looking in the wrong spot. And the salt water made battery. So they could charge up and go away. Okay, I'll stop talking. But that's pretty much where I stand. It's easy to believe in something, or Tim says it's easy to believe in something that you can't see. Can't see the wind, but I believe it's because I feel it. I can't see the air, but I believe in it. Because I breathe it and it gives me life. It's easy to believe in. Something I believe in, love. Even though I can't see it, I believe in the Great Spirit. Tim says they hang out down here where it's warm. They blend in with the alligators. Very true. He said, Yeppers can't trust the gators, especially around the cheese sandwiches. Cheese sandwiches? We brought in cheese sandwiches. Water is Nemicon. Water is Nemeshone, maybe, and Native American. Water is life. Okay. So, I'm done with my spiel.
No, but that's definitely interesting to listen to all that, and I never would have thought there were that many. But yeah, it's very interesting. What's
Hexie doing? She getting into stuff.
Well, I don't know if you see me. I was eyeing her up over here because her paw kept coming up and she was getting ready to pull my cord to my computer. I was like, don't you even think about it. Now she's over here and doing something in the corner. I can't see her anymore. She blends with the shadows.
Cats are terrible. I've got big chunks eaten out of my roll of paper towel. I don't know where she found it, but she found it and she was playing with it. And she was biting it.
Hexie gets a hold of that stuff and tissue paper and everything else, and she's batting it all over the place.
But you know what? That is, do you subscribe to what Jace said about it possibly being that was not, because there were a lot of factors they're saying that caused the dinosaurs to eradicate or to be gone. The meteor showers, the ice age is another thing, which contributed to that. Then there was great heat from the meteors causing things to die, weather patterns changing. But do you think maybe that if that's so, if the meteors were UFOs, that it's possible that when they broke the atmosphere, they changed our weather patterns?
That's a good question. I think it's possible. Especially it depends on how big it was and how much of an effect it had on the atmosphere coming through. I definitely think it could have had a tremendous impact with our weather and how things are and stuff like that.
Right.
It probably, if that's the way it was, it set all that in motion, maybe, our world at that point wasn't used to stuff like that. And, came in like a wrecking ball and threw everything out of the loop.
Oh God, you said came in like a wrecking ball and immediately Miley Cyrus.
Of course.
Although it was the Thanksgiving came in like a butterball kind of thing. Came in like a butterball. Yeah, with a turkey swinging on a big old wrecking ball.
That's right. The first time I heard that song, I thought she said she came in like a rainbow. I was like, I don't even know what that means.
Hilarious. I don't know. What is in? I'm just reading back to the chat. I thought somebody said something. So how often has it been since you've seen these things, like the sightings?
Sometimes it could be a lengthy period. Like I said, my first one that I seen, I was just little. I want to say maybe 9 or 10, somewhere in around there. And then I did not see another one until I was probably in my 20s. And then trying to think, I seen one. I'm trying to think which came first. If it was, they were pretty close together, I would say. I seen the one on the highway coming home from work when I worked at Restaurant Depot, and that was around. I was getting ready to pull over because I was coming down 495, and just as quick as I seen it, it was gone. So I didn't get to take a picture of that. And then it wasn't too long after that we seen one when we went on vacation, and we were up in PA. And then I want to say between then and now, well, when we seen the one with Verse Out Front, that was probably within like a year and a half, 2 years. And then the one last night was maybe like a year-ish. So, they're not like all spaced out the same time period, but usually I don't see them back to back to back, like one every week or anything, but they're there.
I know that your sister has seen some of them too. Why do you think that you see them so often? Why do you think there's a purpose for you?
I don't know if it means anything. I mean, because I know there's some people who say they've never seen it, they don't believe in it. And then you have people like me and Tim, and we see them all the time. And I don't know if it's because we're meant to for some reason, or if it's just we're that in tuned to feeling that change, to know that something's there. So I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But definitely definitely makes it, you definitely feel it. I don't know how to explain it. Like Tim said, he agrees with that. You know, you just get that notion. I need to look, and I feel that pull. But as to why, I have no idea. I don't know if it has something to do with our, you know, Native American background, and you know, maybe we did come from the stars. Maybe that's why we feel that. I don't know, but it'd be nice to know.
That would be nice to know. I mean, I would like to know why I was picked out of a bazillion people to have a conversation with two of them, and it's multiple times that you know, they show up. One time they had, and that time that I was in the salt room, I came out of the salt room, I was freaking. Sherry looked at me and said, I have never ever in the 3 years of knowing you ever seen you like this. You frantic. And I described it to, and she said, oh my God. She said that same thing that her daughter saw outside of her shop and by the tree. And it's living daylights out of her, that she was shaking almost to the point where she was gagging, going to throw up. She came running into the shop. She was hysterical. You know, she made me write down, and I was there with one of the palm readers that were there, who we've had on the show, and he had me write it down. I doubt that he ever took it to the linguistics guy that he knew. He wanted me to write it down, and you know, as I don't think he believed me, and I wrote everything down and handed it to him and said, here, take this to the linguistics person that you know at the university and see what they can come up with. Because to me it's all gibberish. Sumerian is a language that hasn't been spoken in over 5,000 years. Well, I can't say that. There are certain small, very, very tiny nomadic people that live in Africa that travel that speak Sumerian. But other than that, it's been a language that's been dead for 5,000 years. Nobody speaks Sumerian anymore. Now, you're talking about the times of Babel, the Tower of Babel, you know, in Babylon and in Mesopotamia. So I don't know why they're coming to me. It just makes me feel uncomfortable sometimes. Did it ever make you feel uncomfortable saying it, like you wanted to run or hide?
No, it was, to me, it was like the complete opposite. Like I wanted to stop. I wanted to look. I wanted to see. I wanted to, you know, investigate. And, you know, all the times that I've seen them in the sky, they just like, you know, it's like there and gone. And that always made me like sad. But, and even the first one that I seen, it was there and gone. And that's not because of me. If it had been me, I would have stopped and went back. But, my dad just refused to stop. And it wasn't until a little while later, talking to him, that I found out he had seen one when he was younger. And I don't know if it was like somewhere in his like late teens or like early 20s. And you may have remembered this because apparently it was a big phenomenon that happened that went like across the United States. But I think it was it was in the 70s, because it was definitely before I was born. So I want to say, because I was born in 79, so say somewhere in like the earlier 70s, like 75 maybe. They talked about one that went across, and it was seen on the same night in several states across the United States, but it was like this big green thing. And, and I remember him telling me about it and everything. And I remember I kind of stopped and looked at him. And I said, is that why you wouldn't stop and go back when I screamed that there was one there? And he just kind of looked at me. He never answered. And I think, a part of him didn't want to, revisit that. But the first one that I seen, I wish I could draw. And I say this every time. And I would love to get like a sketch artist that could draw. So I could tell them like what I seen and have them draw this, because like, I mean, everything, even to this day, for as long as it's been, I want to say I was most likely 9 or 10. And I mean, you're talking.
I think they should do that. I think I know some.
I mean, it's been like 37 years since I seen that first one. And I mean, I still today, I see it perfectly in my head, what it looked like, what color it was, the windows, how low to the ground it was, even the color of the grass and the way the hills were next to it, because it sat directly in between these two hills. Like it was just kind of like hiding in the valley. And it just didn't take into account that it might have been hiding in between the hills this direction. And there was probably like, there's a lot of field behind it. And there was field here, but there was the road. And it was lined with all those trees. And then in one area, there was a break in the trees where there was no trees there. And when we got to that point, like something just pulled me. And when we got there and I turned my head to the left to look through that break at the field, and boom, there it was. And I will probably never forget that to the day that I die. It'll always be stuck there as plain as day as I seen it yesterday.
So is it kind of like saying you wish that they would have landed and come to you and said, this is what we want from you. This is why we're following you. This is why you've seen us so many times.
I mean, you know what?
It's for this purpose.
If it was something along those lines, like, it was a message that we needed to have, for, to save us or whatever, or, something like that. As long as it's not negative, I would not mind it. I would absolutely sit there and listen and take that message in.
Right.
I mean, even just to know why you see it repeatedly. But yeah, it definitely would be something I wouldn't shy away from. So,
I mean, I think there's got to be some kind of reason why certain people see them repeatedly. Just like it kind of begs the question that these people that say that they were abducted, that maybe here's two things to ponder. The first one is maybe they're not abductions, and I say this often and I get laughed at because funny, but I'm not being funny. What if they're rescue missions? What if they're rescuing people?
And that's a possibility. I mean, when you watch like different shows, like I don't know if you watched, was it the 4400 or whatever it was? It was a TV show based off of that. And people throughout time, like years back to, present day, all these people disappeared. And then all of a sudden one day, bright flash of light comes down, blinds everybody, and then boom, everybody's there on a beach that's disappeared from 1880 to like now. And part of that was explained to them that the reason those people were taken was because of like a catastrophe or something that was coming up in the future, and these people needed to be taken. Some were brought back with gifts to help prevent this from happening. How do we know?
Again, see that comes into line with me saying that they're here to help us, to keep us from, imploding ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of them. And the other one is, what if those people that are abducted are the ones with the Rh negative blood? Maybe they're doing health checks.
Now that would be pretty interesting to start researching people who have claimed to be abducted, to find out what blood type they have.
Mm-hmm.
That would really be
Because if
interesting.
that's the case, what do you think of it as just like we're just doing a welfare check kind of thing? We know that they have spread their lineage. We're just making sure that they are healthy, that everything is okay. There was a documentary that I saw, this was years ago, where they were interviewing someone who had worked at Area 51 for years.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he said something about them. Once they retired, they had a gag order put on them for X amount of years. They weren't allowed to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the gag order was done, that they had the ability to speak. Well, this guy was elderly. And I don't know how he got pictures out of his office, but he was showing this interviewer pictures of things that they had taken, and they knew damn well that they had captured aliens or ETs, and they were experimenting on the ones that had died, and doing autopsies and whatnot. And he was on some kind of mission out in Area 51 before he retired, and he had been abducted. And he said, when I came back, when they dropped me off, so to speak, or when they said, okay, bye, they kicked me out of the flying saucer, I had felt something in my neck. And it looks like it feels like a grain of rice that's in there. And he said, I've had multiple visitations after. And he said, I seriously think it's a tracking device.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're tracking me.
I wonder if he'd ever had like a x-ray done or anything.
He did have an x-ray done. They did see something in there that was almost like grain rice shaped. But they were afraid to go any further or remove it because it was so close to his carotid artery that if they removed it, they were afraid that they would nick it and that they would kill him. So they were like, oh, since it's not bothering you, if it's not bothering you, don't worry about it.
This bothers me every other month when they pick my butt up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bothering me when they pick my ass up and just, do weird experiments and then do the Un Jedi mind trick like in Men in Black with the little doo-doo, and they, just make me disappear or make my memory disappear. Speaking about someone who was abducted, and I know I bring up the subject multiple times, and it was such a great movie. It was Fire in the Sky. It was a great movie. It was a great book. It's a story that's told. Travis Walton, I believe, wrote the book Fire in the Sky, and then they made it into a movie about his disappearance. Hi, Hexy. Hexy girl. She's like, look, don't bother me. You're gonna see my butt the entire time. I'm just gonna sit out here and look out the window. He was a lumberjack. He was a logger out in Arizona, I believe it was. And it was in 1975. He had gone out on a logging job with a couple of buddies that were on his team, and they saw something. They saw a UFO or a UAP, whatever they want to call it now. UAP, UFO, partridge in a pear tree. I still call it a UFO. I'm sorry. UAP, it is what it is. It's an unidentified flying object. Okay. You know, it's a UFO. They had seen it while they were leaving that night out of the woods, and they had stopped the truck, and Travis had wound up getting out of the truck, and they told him, they were screaming at him to get back in the truck, get back in the truck, get back in the truck, because it was following them, and it had stopped in front of them in the woods, and he did not get back in the truck. And it was him, I think, and another buddy. They were both there. A beam of light came out of the bottom of the craft and shot both of them in opposite directions. Like it was so powerful that they actually flew backwards. The one guy wound up being okay after a while. Minor scrapes and bruises. They watched Travis Walton's body being flung up into the air and into the ship. And he said when he woke up from the whole experience, he woke up on a table. He said, I knew I was on a table because I was looking up at lights on the ceiling of whatever it was. And he said he saw what appeared to be very tall, thin, gray aliens or ETs with the big almond shaped eyes. He said they weren't saying anything. He said, but I never, after thinking about it, I never felt scared. He said, I was startled. And that's when I jumped off the table and I started running. He said, it's that fight or flight kind of thing, because they're scary looking. And he said, but I never felt like I was in fear of my life. He was gone for 7 days. While he was running around in the ship, he came across a pod he said he felt like he couldn't breathe, like something was wrong with the oxygen in the room. And he said there was lack of oxygen in the room. He said, I don't know how they were living. I don't know how they were breathing, but I came upon, I had made a turn down a hallway, and I found these other people that were in suits that had like these helmets on that were humans. And they had all been abducted. They had all been abducted. They, to make a long story short, when they had brought him back to Earth, they left him naked in the same woods, approximately in the same area where they found him. And he had ran down the road completely butt-ass naked after 7 days, which felt to him like it was an hour, but it had been 7 days. The FBI was looking for him. His mom was looking for him. The girlfriend, all his buddies were looking for him. The CIA had come out. He was running down the road at night, and he found those old phone booths, and he had called his house. And a U.S. Marshal, or it was the U.S. Marshal or the sheriff, had answered the phone. And they had come and they had picked him up. And there he was, butt-ass naked. After that, to get to my point, he had several sightings after that for years. The next couple of sightings, the next sighting that was probably double dating with a friend of his. and they had gone to the movies, and he had dropped his friend off and his girlfriend at their house. Were traveling down a road to get to his girlfriend's house so that he could drop her off, and it was following him. It followed him for about 5 miles, and the girlfriend was completely beside herself, screaming and crying. It's following us. And he had stopped his truck and he had gotten out, and it stopped, and he looked up at it and he said, "Why are you following me? What do you want from me? Why are you following me again? I don't want to go with you." And he said it sat for about 5 minutes, and then it took off. After that, he had subsequent sightings when he was driving. And again, he would stop, and it would stop and hover above his truck. And again, he would yell at it, and it would give him no answer to why it was chasing him. So he's had like 8 different sightings after that.
Wow.
No more abductions, but sightings of UFO and it following him. He said it became a normal. Like they were tailing me, like they were the FBI. He said at one point I didn't even bother getting out of the truck anymore. After a while, as soon as I got close to my house, I would take off. But it followed me for miles.
It was just an escort home.
It was an escort home. But the thing to me is that, you know, they had to want him for something.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you going to continue to follow someone for years after? That would be a good question to have answered if they were here. Why are you following them? They've been abducted. There have been many that have said they have had several other abductions after.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had been abducted multiple times, and it was the same spiel over and over and over again. What was that one movie that you had turned me on to? That you and your sister had turned me on to? The one with the owl? What was the name of that movie? She was like a doctor. She was a psychiatrist or something.
Oh, was that The Fourth Kind? I think
you're right. I think it was called
The Fourth Kind with Mila.
Every time they saw the owl or something, they knew it was coming, or
yeah,
they were going to be abducted or something.
The way I took it in when I was watching it was every time like they saw the owl at the window, I think honestly that was the ET, and it was disguising itself as the owl, I think, to try to not freak them out so much. But I think they were, I guess, taken as many times as they were, I don't think it was working anymore. Like the glamour was wearing off, because sometimes I think it would like their mind would like kick in and they'd see it for what it was.
Mm-hmm. I don't, what do you think that they want from us if they were to continue to keep showing up?
That's a hard question, and I don't know. I mean, I don't think we're that interesting, but I mean, we are different to them. And then again, your point of if we could find out if everybody who, has been abducted and stuff like that, what their blood type was, to see if the RH negative blood type has any bearing on that as well. I think that would definitely add something in there for us to, think about. But maybe they're coming, to see how things are. Maybe where they come from, their planet isn't doing so well. there's a lot of things that, they could be doing this for, and we'll never know. It's speculation. And I mean, I could ask Jace. I'm sure he's got a few more in there that he could throw out for us.
Oh, geez. We have to have Jace on the show if that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying. Because Mr. Y-Man has to be on. I'm sure that he will definitely give us
he'll definitely give us something to think about.
Questions. Yeah, a lot of questions and stuff. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I was answering. I saw that there was a chat put on from Tim Hopper, but it was actually in StreamYard, and I couldn't see it. I was like, why can't I see it? But I saw it. Hey, Carrie Hopper, if that is Miss Carrie Hopper that has jumped on the show, maybe. Why can't I see that she has come on the show or has shown up? Oh, because I can't see anything.
I don't see it on Facebook either.
Yeah. Maybe it's over here. Maybe it's on Facebook's. Not on Facebook, but on no, not on there either. That's really weird. Any hoodles. Let's see. Same here. Change. All right. So, how long did that experience last for you last night when you saw it?
Not long. It was very quick. It was just like it was there and then gone. Like, just want to say, like, what's up? That was it. What's up?
Listen, I am so mad. I really am mad. They actually show the ET show up for me, but I don't ever get the let's do it. Do you want to ride along?
You don't get the getaway vehicle?
Yeah, I never get towards the vehicle. They never allow me in the vehicle.
As far as I know, I've never been in the vehicle. I've only seen it.
Favorite topic of ours. Oh yeah, it is a favorite topic of ours.
No orchids were in my sighting last night either.
Oh God. Are you serious?
I'm serious. There was no orchids.
He was at Tim is always the one. For those of you who are just started watching, which is Wingin It, or just found our podcast, our producer Tim Hopper had an investigation one time with a woman who exclaimed that there was an alien out on her lanai or on her back patio that was molesting her orchids. Damn it. My question was he wearing a smoking jacket? He had to be molesting orchids. What is it with you people in Florida? With the molesting orchids, molesting alligators? What is it? Because that's, if you go down to Florida, have you ever seen the signs out by the Tampa area? And the water says, please do not feed or molest the alligators.
I don't even want to be that close to an
My
alligator.
question, I can't just. How could you be that close to an alligator? I mean, that's really bizarre. I mean, and orchids, alligators and orchids. That's terrible. Tim says we're unique people. We're unique.
Yes, apparently.
Yes, you are. Listen, you are like Australia's little sister. Okay, you know how everything in Australia can kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Like their wildlife is out there, and it is wild. They're wilding out. wilderness out in Australia. I mean, you get the cute little fuzzies that can kill you in a hot minute. Florida, you can keep all your panthers, your crocodigators, your flying cockroaches that you call palmetto bugs, although they are like flying roaches because they're huge, that can take away a small child. Yeah.
I just watched a video earlier today of these people in Australia, and they legit just like walked over to their window to look out the window, and there was this snake hanging from like their roof down over the side to where their balcony was. And I say snake lightly because if you ask me, it was an anaconda. This sucker was huge.
You said it was an anaconda, Jen.
It had to be.
I'm sure it was.
This snake had to have been the same size around as my dog. Like, it was so thick.
As big as Anubis. Look, this big around.
Like, it was
look, I'm backing up from the camera.
Huge. And there was this bird sitting on their balcony. And we're not talking a small bird. We're talking about one of those big, huge tropical birds. And this sucker snatched him right on up and flipped him up and suffocated him. And I was like, and the one guy, he's like,
snake or the bird? Oh,
he ate the bird. And the one guy was like, did you get that? And he's like, I've been filming this. He was like, did you see him snatch that bird? And he said, forget snatching the bird. He said, he's going back up into our roof. He was like, I want to go. I mean,
said, yep, we have those too.
Yeah, no, I don't want any of those.
Anacondas who were like this big. That's like the fish story, right? That keeps getting bigger and bigger. They were this big. I'm gonna have
to go back and find that video, and I'm gonna send it to you so you can see. I am not exaggerating. This sucker was huge. Oh.
Huge. Where they have the spiders, the parachuting spiders.
Yeah, no, I don't even want to.
The entire month of like everything covered with spiders.
They're some of them are bigger than my hand.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm good with handling some spooters, but you get like them just hanging on the trees. You can't. They're like repelling, like the SWAT team from the wires across the street. No, nope.
And you could just call me Mary Poppins because I'd be walking around with an umbrella.
Yeah, no. You get wow. I will admire you from afar, Australia. I will admire you from afar, or send me to like Queensland, or a Perth where the beach is. I'll enjoy the beach. How about that? Of course, then they have the sharks that can eat you. Yepers, we have them as well. They eat the birds. Spiders are badass. He said spiders are badass spiders. Oh my goodness. I can't do that. Oh my goodness. No. So our producer, Tim Hopper, the reason we went and did hot off the presses, the D, across the, breaking news about the UFOs tonight. And we decided to forego the talk of the mugwort until the next time we are on, which is Winging It, which will be mugwort, because we said which is Winging It, we're going to talk about the witchy stuff. So this is kind of witchy. Our producer Tim Hopper happened to see last night. He caught on photo what appears to be an unidentified flying object off of his back porch. And it happened pretty much the same time that Jen saw her sighting last night. Hers was green, and Tim's, he graciously sent me the photo, is this ultraviolet purple color. that just sits there, and it's this saucer shaped or vehicle shaped, I want to say oblong, violet purple. It's like neon lavender, maybe is the words I want to use. Ship that is literally just sitting there, just hanging out, just sitting there. And we've had our producer talk multiple times, Tim Hopper, about seeing unidentified flying objects out of his backyard. The words are not coming out tonight, Jen. The words are not coming out. About and how many times he's seen them. I mean, he's seen them all shapes, sizes, colors. They could just keep showing up. We just keep thinking it's the state and where he lives in the state. Although Florida, Delaware would be a good way to get, a good reason to stop by. I mean, when you think about it, we are the chemical capital of the country. We are the banking capital of the country. We are something else too in the country.
Did you know that in Delaware in 2025 that we had a UFO sighting in Sussex County down by Lewis?
Yes.
And then there was also one in Newark. And in Pennsylvania for the entire year of 2025, there was over 100 sightings.
Which I know that Jim has this. I have to get in touch with him because he found this site that shows how many sightings and where they have been in the state of Delaware. And
I was kind of looking at that earlier, and the one I found, it didn't have a lot on it. So I'm going to research that a little bit more as well.
It's Delaware UFO sightings. Let me see if I can pull it up. Is it Stacker? It's called New Force. It's the NUFORC reports for the state of Delaware. And let's see if there were any reported last night. 11/24. It appears to be that the last sighting that was actually reported was on 10/3/2025 at 2200 hours in Wilmington. It was a circle in the sky. They are questioning whether it is UFO. It was caught on the media. Let me open it up.
So where do you report this at when you see things?
I don't know whether you report it to the NUFORC. I don't know whether you can file a UFO report. You go to the NU, N as in Nancy, U as in uniform, F as in Foxtrot, ORC website. It's NUFORC.org. And at the top, there is a file a UFO report. So you can file it. It was reported the same, like right after it happened. Let's see. And they actually got a video of it. They posted a video of it. My thing anymore with all of the drones that are out at night, it makes me wonder if what they are seeing are drones instead of actual, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's a great possibility. What I see, if I can make it any bigger, the video shows 3 red ball-shaped objects that are in a chevron shape, which is like the triangle. And there is a fourth one, but it's lagging further back. I don't, without the sound on, you know what this is like 4 blocks away from my house on Green Hill Avenue, where the Eye Center of Delaware is.
Really?
They just showed the Eye Center of Delaware, the building. It's over top the building. It's at night. I don't. The patterns of drones, when they fly, you have to have somebody flying them. Can they be manned by robot? Can they be manned by a computer to fly at the same distance?
I don't know 100% if they can or not, but I would assume with the AI technology that we have, I don't see why they couldn't.
Because I would be hard pressed to say that they are drones, because what I am seeing, and I'm doing this, you guys can't say it, and I'm sad that you guys can't say it. It looks like there is an outline of like a shape there. You know how drones don't have a shape? It's just 3 lights when they go up in the air. They do have the ability to change colors on their lights that they have. There looks to be like a chevron shaped something that they're attached to something. And I can't. Like the shape, there looks to be like, you know how drones. Let me see if I can lower this right here for a second. And what I am going to do is see if I can mute this in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to mute this. And I'm going to go back to this and see if I can play it again and with the volume on. I can't.
Tim did say, yes, the more sophisticated drones can be programmed with coordinates to follow. Military drones have that capability as well as some civilian.
Oh, yes, more sophisticated drones can be programmed to follow. Military drones have that capability as well as some. So it's hard to say whether what they're looking at is an actual, are not drones, but an actual ship itself. And my eyes are different than everybody else's. Let's just put it that way. Everybody's going to have their own. Hey, JoJo. They're actually going to have their own different opinion of what they're saying.
Yeah.
But in the video, it does look like that those 3 lights are attached to something. There is a 4th light that is following behind it that is not attached. That's just hanging out. It is completely stopped while the other 3 are going this way. It's stopped, literally. And has kept, and the other 3 have kept going. From the little bit that I heard, I could not hear anything. I couldn't hear anything.
Look at this shit in Wilmington, Delaware.
And has kept, and the other 3 have kept going.
Where are they?
From the little bit that I heard, I could not hear. You have a lot of people watching it, and you hear some kids mentioning that it's in formation. Look, it's flying in formation. It's not a drone because there's something attached to it. One says that I don't think these are drones because there's a shadow in the middle. The teenagers with the F-bomb. Oh, in Delaware, man, look at that Wilmington, man, man, in the background. And then there are like 4 or 5 people in the background. You're like, what the is this? What the is that?
This is why we can't have nice stuff, people.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's Wilmington. You're not going to get nice. I mean, you're in the inner city here, okay? Let's just call a spade a spade. It's not going to be nice. Nothing you say is going to be nice. Or nothing you hear is going to be nice. When they talk about it. And there are definitely there are 3 or 4 people in the background who are definitely worried, like they're scared. They're like, no, man, I'm getting out of here. I don't know what that is. That is not normal. I'm leaving. And that you hear them leaving, like they're running in an opposite direction. So
I think at that point in time, like I just have to mess with people. And if there's like a sighting and there's that big of a group of people, and you got the people who are like, nah, man, I got to get out of here, and they want to take off, I really want to look at them and ask them to like, can you please explain to me what qualities you have that they would need to have you up there to see?
Yeah.
Give them one good quality.
I got nut man.
Oh, Jesus.
Just some BS, man. You know how they are. But that is our lovely neighborhood that we live in. They're just dumbbells, but you can actually see them concerned. Everybody's doing well. How are you, JoJo? By the way, a little sidebar of that is I showed your sister the picture.
She should have already seen it. I sent her the video.
She said, what picture are you talking about? Oh no. And I showed her and she goes, oh no, it's on like Donkey Kong.
She didn't see it when I sent her the video.
Apparently she didn't. Apparently she didn't.
She sent me pictures of her new desk. She was all excited. She's like, look at my new desk. I'm 8 minutes from work, and she's going all over everything. And I was there and I'm looking, and I can see a picture of my dad and his dog, and I see a picture of her and Jordan, and then pictures of Jordan. And I said, excuse me, miss. I said, where is my photo of me? And she goes, well, show me your photo of me at your desk. So I started my video, and I started at the one end, and I was going all the way across this way. And when I got to my picture, I went past it first, and then I stopped and went back and went, oh, there you are.
She said I didn't get it. She said, I didn't get it.
Oh, my gosh. Joanne.
It was hilarious looking at her. She goes, what the? So I showed her. And she's like, what the? And then she, oh, it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong now. Oh. Because I asked her, I said, have you seen the picture that your sister has of you on her desk at work? And she goes, I haven't talked to or seen my sister in 2 weeks. What are you talking about? So she's like, oh.
Next time I do the video, I guess there, and snap back to it. There she is. I'm going to have to circle it.
You're gonna have to draw a picture, take a picture and draw with your finger, that like big red circle.
Arrow point. This is you.
This is Joanne.
Look, I never said I was the best drawer, okay?
She said, that's okay, I'll send yours. You know, this is not going to end here. That I'm going to get, she's going to show me at work. Because she sits it directly across from me now. So it's going to be,
she goes, Buffy's right across from me.
Oh. So she said, that's okay. I'll send you yours. Go ahead. Terrible. I can only imagine. Jen, what it's going to look like.
Look,
you did mention something about a dry erase board.
It's a stand-in until I get an actual picture. It's a placeholder.
Navigational port meaning. Okay, so Tim said this. He said, remember, if you're flying a drone of that caliber, you have to have a license, and the drone itself will be equipped with navigational lights, red on port, green on starboard port, meaning left, and green meaning right. Smaller drones do not have any lights. I will tell you that the drones that I saw, Tim, the ones in this video, were all red. There was no green, there was no nothing. It was all red. There were 3 in a chevron shape, and then there was a 4th one, but the 4th one was like way far behind the other 3. And I'm so unlearned as far as like drones are concerned. Do drones make a lot of noise that you can hear? I know that I've heard them, like when they take off, that they make noise.
I mean, I don't think if that's the noise that they all make, I don't think you would hear it if it's that far up in the sky.
Oh, this is pretty damn close. Can you do it on your laptop where you are?
Mm-hmm. Let me try.
Either that or like you can pull it up on your phone or whatever you have. And it's NUFORC.org. And you'll click the thing that says for Delaware. And at the top, you'll see the one from October. And it'll have a little thing on the side that says view.
All right. Well, you have to forgive me. I'm dyslexic. I put in UN Force.
No, NUFORC.org. The eyewitness says, people and I spotted these crafts in Wilmington, Delaware. I watched them for 30 seconds before I ran inside to grab my phone. Before I started recording, they were a lot further to the west. I was only inside for about 10 seconds. By the time I came out, they were basically flying over my house. It didn't make sense how quick they were able to make that distance. As you can see in the video, they're kind of moving at a reasonable speed. There was a comment made that another person said, I see drones all the time in the city, but never have they looked like these. They usually fly a lot lower. Somebody made an explanation that they were Chinese lanterns. When was the last time you saw Chinese lanterns let go,
And
flying
staying
in
with
a
each other like
distance
that?
from each other in a triangle shape?
When was the sighting?
Let me go back. It says October 3rd, 2025. And then it'll say City, Wilmington, State, Delaware, USA, shape, circle. And then it says Wilmington UFO, question mark. If you go to where it says link and just hit the open.
That's not it.
While we're all waiting. Let's see. Tim said the lights you saw could be to locate them if they went down at night, not really legal to fly. He said they could be civilian drones. Civilian drones are noisy, or the light could be from a camera as well. The drone, I have lights. It's also equipped with a camera and gives off a red light. Did you find it yet?
There's a lot of dots on this map.
Okay, just go to, what you're going to do is when you go to, let me get out of here so I can show it again. Let me see. NUforce.org. Okay, you're going to go to let's see if you can go to Delaware. Go to the search, the little icon, and put in Delaware and see what you get. File report. I don't want to file a report. I mean, we can go back and discuss it at another time, but what I put in the search bar in Google was Delaware UFO sightings.
Mm-hmm.
And it brought me to Delaware on it.
I went in through mine and it just, you click on the map on mine and then it gives you like the map of the United States, and then you go to Delaware and then it's got all of them listed and how many sightings were each dot.
Wondering if I can send this to you. I'll have to see if I can send it in a link to you. Anyways, your sister is like, oh wow, military law enforcement drones make very little noise. Possible, but I don't understand how they would fly around shape, or I guess maybe, I don't know. Just a food for thought. That's all I'm saying. Was the latest one that was reported on the newforce.org for the state, or was the one in October, and I think it was October 2nd. No, October 3rd, excuse me. October 3rd of 2025. Jen, we've lasted 2 hours, honey.
Woo!
Woo! I feel so excited when we do that. Your sister still says it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. And she said, oh, it's on like Donkey Kong.
I'm scared.
UFOs, aliens, cryptids. What do you guys think? I think that's a good idea. Since Tim's forte is cryptids and UFOs and aliens, I think that'd be a good idea for him.
Mm-hmm. I know Bruce misses the cryptids. That was his favorite.
He misses the cryptids, huh? Well, there you go. If you do a podcast about cryptids, you could always put Bruce on the show. I'm pretty sure he talked Bruce off about cryptids. Huh?
I'll have to chain him up. Every time I ask him, he's like,
oh Jesus.
No. He's like, I can't be on a show. No.
Why? Is he afraid to be in front of a camera? Probably.
I don't know. He just, that's him. And it's a shame because he could talk your ear off.
Let's set it up then. Okay, I suggest we set it up. He has to come up with a name for this one because I'm tired. coming up with names. Podcast. You and I, between you and I, Bruce, just to come up with which is winging it, was an entire dilemma. I mean,
Yeah, that took us a little
poor
while.
Bruce was in the background with you going through a name generator for like hours. Well, do you have anything else to add, my dear? This was interesting. This was so interesting. Food for thought. I'll work on it this weekend, Tim said.
Sounds good.
You have anything else to add? Anything else to report, dear?
Nope, I don't have anything else. That was just something that, made my mind go. So I was like,
listen, you blew my mind with that though. That's the thing. So if you're into the show late, let's just put it this way. Jen was having a discussion with her son Jace about the UFO that she saw last night. All right. And was it Jace that came up with Mom, what if?
Well, I started with the first question of everyone always said that dinosaurs went extinct when a meteor hit the Earth. But what if it wasn't a meteor? What if it was a UFO? And what if we are the aliens? We could be scared for no reason.
Look, we're scared of ourselves. And that literally made my mind just go. And we have to get your son Jace on the show. If he is willing to come on, I will put him on the air. We will set him right down on that little chair couch thing you got going on right there. Or get him a cooler to sit on, whatever you need to do. Put him in the spotlight and we'll get him talking about anything and everything on the show. I think that will be a great idea. I think you doing a show about cryptids, Tim, is a great idea. Is an amazing idea. So you got anything to add, or you want to give your email address out, Jen, while we're at it?
Yep. So if anybody's got anything they want to talk about, they want to learn about, anything like that, definitely send me an email so I can start researching. It is jendodson79@gmail.com. And then hopefully you guys will send some stuff so we can get some research done. But next show, I will try to have all my research together and my all my stuff I need to know for my mugwort. So if anybody's looking to dig into that and find out a little bit more about mugwort and what it does and things you can use it for,
I'm falling apart.
Don't miss that one.
I'm falling apart. My chair's falling apart. I'm trying to put my shoe on. Oh God. Yes, we had a breaking news tonight. We just found it interesting that Tim and Jen saw UFOs all pretty much at the same time, but they're in different states. So we wanted to talk about that tonight. Next time we were on Which is Winging It, we will definitely be talking about the mugwort because that needs to get out. We did make a plan that this year, 2026, because we are called Which is Winging It, and Jen brought up this idea. She said, let's start doing things witchy. And I said, sounds like a plan, Stan. We're going to put it together. So I think what we're going to do is like one off and one on. So it's your turn this time with the mugwort coming the not Monday, but the following Monday, about the mugwort, and I will come up with something, maybe a spell or two. If you have a spell that you want to learn how to do that is not baneful magic, because I'm not getting into that, because I ain't gonna be responsible for one of you witchy poos that's gone off the rails because somebody slayed you at work, someone sent you a text. No, we ain't talking about that. Okay, I'm not gonna feel responsible for that. I may change my mind somewhere later down the line, like at the end of the year, maybe, possibly. Possibly, if I find that you people are a little more experienced. Okay, just making sure that everyone in the family is a little more experienced and knows what to do. Then I will. Please send me an email at ghostwhisperer318@gmail.com. That's ghostwhisperer318@gmail.com. If there is a specific spell you want to learn, some questions you have about witchcraft, crafting, candle magic, I have a good one that I mentioned before, Jen, and that was about scrying.
Yes, you did.
And maybe what we will do is that will settle it. Unless I get something better in my email, we will talk about scrying. You'll do your mugwort, and then the next time after that, I'll talk about scrying. Anybody, all the wonderful things to do, talk about scrying. Next Monday, we will be with Corner Cauldron again with me and my brother from another mother, my WT, my wonder twin, Jim Spillin. Same bat time, same bat channel here on StreamYard. I almost said Spreaker. The word Spreaker wanted to come out so bad. It almost came out. That's
because I said it before the show started.
Yes, I stopped myself from saying it. What are we going to talk about? I have no idea with Jim and I. It's our thoughts go like the wind. Poof, they're gone. Whatever's. So, there is something that may be happening before Monday's Corner Cauldron show. And I may want to introduce you to someone, depending if I want to or if I don't. Or if it happens or it doesn't happen. We don't know. We'll find out. That's the mystery that we will leave you all with. Anyway, anywho's, we were with Spreaker a long time. We were definitely with Spreaker a long time. With that being said, anything else, Jen?
No, that's it. Just hope everybody stays witchy and put your good magic out there.
Yes, wands up, everybody. Ha! Blessed to be on. Thank you for showing up tonight. Tim, to our producer, Tim Hunt. Always a pleasure. Thank you ever so much for making this happen. I really appreciate it. Jen really appreciates it. We love you to death. With that being said, I will end the night with my usual love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Keep it witchy.
Bye, Jen. Bye, Tim.
Bye.